Welcome to today's video. In this video, we're going to look at angles associated with the straight lines. As we're going to look at this topic, I want you viewers to have a concept of supplementary angles. As last time we had the topic on supplementary angles, I explained what supplementary angles are and we tried to solve some few questions. So if you haven't watched that video, we'll link it at the end of this video, or you can still go and watch this video so that you have the basic idea of what supplementary angles are. Because what we're going to do today is going to be built on what we learned on supplementary angles. With that being said, let's go into today's video. So there are certain angles that are made using straight line. Let's say we have angles that are made through two straight lines crossing each other. For instance, we can have these two lines crossing each other. Okay, so these two lines are crossing each other. Let's presume that these lines are straight. They are crossing each other at maybe a certain degree. What it means is this angle here and this angle, they are equal to each other. This angle down and that angle, they are equal to each other. So mathematically, we usually say vertical opposite angles are equal. So I say vertical opposite angles are equal. So meaning this angle is equal to that angle. Then this angle and this angle, let me just double the lines, and this angle, okay, they are equal to each other. This angle and this angle, they are equal to each other. If this is 80 degrees, that means even this one will be 80 degrees. Now, if this angle is 80 degrees and this one is 80 degrees, what is the angle of this one? Remember, as I was saying earlier on to say supplementary angles. So this one and this one, they should add up to 180. That means this one is going to be 100 degrees and this one is going to be 100 degrees. Now, the concept you need to understand is if two lines are crossing each other, they are called vertical opposite. They form vertical opposite angles which are equal to each other. So this one is equal to this one, and this one is equal to this one. So basically, this is the first angles, or this is the first principle or rule we can talk about concerning angles that are formed using straight lines or by straight lines. Okay, that is, we can talk about this one, number one. And the rule you should always remember is vertical opposite angles are equal to each other. So we find these angles in those in where there are lines that are crossing each other. Okay, now let me talk about this one. This one is just one. Let me talk about transversal and parallel. Transversal and parallel. Transversal and parallel. Okay, I've put this one as a subheading because there are so many, there are different angles that are formed using transversal and parallel lines. Okay, so what am I talking about? what is a transversal line and what is a parallel line. Okay, so let me start with the parallel line because I'm going to put the transversal line on the parallel lines. Okay, so a parallel line, parallel lines, these are two lines, they can be two or more, but let's talk about two lines. Two lines that does not meet each other. Those lines, they move, they can go anywhere, but they just don't meet each other. Basically, I can say they stand on 90 degrees or they lie on 90 degrees, just straight like that, and they never meet. They just go straight, they are parallel to each other. So those are called parallel lines. They never meet. So example of parallel lines, we can talk about the railway line. When you see when you go in railway line, you find that those railway lines, they don't meet. So those are called parallel lines. Then the transversal line, this is the line that crosses these parallel lines at a certain degree, or maybe it bends at a certain degree. Yeah. So now these two are parallel lines. These two, we are saying this one and this one are called parallel lines. This one is called transversal line. Transversal line. Okay, so that this one is transversal. These two are parallel lines. These two are parallel lines. Okay, so when these two lines meet, they form a certain, they form angles. So when these two lines meet, they don't meet, but we are saying when these two parallel lines they are crossed by a transversal line, they form angles. Now we need to understand the angles they form. Remember, this line is crossing this line at a certain degree. For instance, if it is crossing here at 45 degrees, that means even here it will cross at 45 degrees. Okay, you need to bear in mind that when this line is crossing here on the right side, it is crossing, it has bent at 45 degrees. That means even here to cross the second line at the same degree. Okay, all right. So now let's talk about the angles that are formed by these lines. Okay, let me use the red marker here. Okay, I'll draw these two parallel lines, then this one will cross. Okay, all right. So there are angles. Let me say this is angle A, B, C. This one should be D, E, F. Yeah. Okay. Let me say F, G, and H. Okay. All right. Okay. So these are the 8 angles that are made by the two parallel lines and the transversal line. So let's talk about corresponding angles. Let me just use small letters. When we talk about corresponding, we talk about corresponding. What am I writing now? Okay, we talk about corresponding angles. Okay, so I say, what are these corresponding angles? So these angles are the ones that are on the same position of the different parallel line. So this one and this one, they are corresponding angles. A and B are corresponding angles. And we are saying the corresponding angles are equal to each other. So we are saying corresponding angles are equal to each other. Okay, so as I was saying, the A and B are corresponding angles. So that means also F and H, they are all corresponding angles. So I presume you understand even this other side, those are corresponding angles. So you find that the angle of E and C is also equal to each other. Okay, so you just have to remember that the matching, the angles that are matching, which are on the position which are matching, they are corresponding angles. So F and H, they are corresponding angles. A and B are corresponding angles. E and C, they are corresponding. Sorry, E and G, they are corresponding angles. D and C are corresponding angles because they are on the matching position. If you look at this one, it is just on top of this angle, the top angle of this on the left side, and this one is also there. So they are called corresponding angles. Okay, so they are equal to each other. Okay, then let's go to the second one. Let me draw this second one. Okay. Okay, now on this one we are saying alternating angles. So here we are saying we are trying to figure out about alternating alternate angles. Okay, so we are saying alternate angles. So what is the property of alternate angles? So let me say angle. Okay. Okay. So we are saying alternating angles, like let me say here, let me use the black marker. Here I'll say this is A, and that there we put G. So I'm saying A and G are alternating angles. So these alternating angles, they are also equal to each other. So I'm saying alternate angles are equal to, oh, sorry, let me just say alternate angles are equal. So alternate angles are equal. Alternate angles are equal. Okay, alternate angles are equal. So we are saying this angle and this angle, they are equal. They have the same value. If this one was 8, and this angle will also be 8. Okay, so what does it mean? So it also says that this angle is equal to this angle. Okay, so that is what it means to say alternating angles, they are equal to each other. So these are the two alternating angles. So meaning this one, we are saying this one is D and also H, they are equal to each other. Okay? All right. Now let's go to another one. Now let's go to the next one. And the next one, it is called allied angles, or let's say co-interior Okay, so now let's talk about the other angles that are formed when two parallel lines are crossed by a transversal line. So we are saying we have these two parallel lines and this transversal line. Then we have let me say we have D here and G here, and then we have A here and we have H here. Okay, so we are saying allied angles or co-interior angles, they add up to, so these A and H, they add up, so we are saying interior angles or allied angles add up to 180 degrees. Okay, interior angles or allied angles add up to 180 degrees. So we are saying this angle A and the angle H, when you add them, so we are saying angle A plus angle H. Okay, let me put the signs of angle. So I'm saying angle A plus angle H, they add up to 180 degrees. Then the same thing here, we are saying angle D plus angle G add up to 180 degrees. Right? So those that's what we can talk about allied angles or co-interior angles. So basically, you need to master these properties of parallel and transversal lines, angles that are formed by parallel lines and transversal line. So you need to master these principles. You need to master the corresponding angles, and you need to know the corresponding angles. We said corresponding angles are those which have got the matching position on the angles. So you have A and B, F and H, they are matching, they have the same position. Then alternate angles, we have these angles, this angle here and that angle, they are equal. So even corresponding angles are equal. Then allied angles or co-interior angles, they add up to 180. Okay. Then we talked about the two straight lines that are crossing each other. They form vertical opposite angles. So we said this angle is equal to this angle and this angle is equal to this angle. Thank you so much for watching. Please, if you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, we're saying subscribe to our YouTube channel, and may you stay blessed.